welcome to Tuesday. So in the previous video, when I went hiking, I mentioned a little bit the static in your head. For me, the static energy in my head. Now I'm going to explain where that comes from, but I'm going to try and link a few things together here. Let's go. So the brain, our brain weighs about, I think it's about 2% of your body weight, right? However, that thing, your brain, uses about 20% of your daily calorie requirements. Now, the main fuel is glucose, and it's actually quite insane that something that is so small from a weight point of view in your body and that doesn't move requires that much energy, right? If I do bicep curls, it makes sense because the muscle's moving, it must need fuel, but your brain just sits there. This tells us that there's something going on in there, yes, because it's requiring a lot of energy, a lot of glucose, also fats and things, but it requires a lot of energy. So it's amazing with the amount of energy that most of our brains use that some people don't seem to have a functioning one. Anyway, we'll get there. So, so what I was talking about yesterday, or in the previous video, when I went hiking, was how, to me, I'm focused better when I have something to worry about or to stress about or to focus on. I focus better when I'm a little bit tired mentally. When I'm not like fresh maybe, I focus better when I'm physically tired. That's why I train all the time, right? It's not a physical thing, it's mostly mental. So I was working with a therapist years ago, and the concept and the focus thing and being able to multitask but focus on one thing and making yourself tired, all of this came up. And he mentioned it's like static electricity in your brain. And this static electricity, if you can harness that and put it on one thing, then obviously you'll be better at focus and what have you. And I can give you, and it's the same with the coaching clients, I've done this. So some of them, I've been on both sides of this therapy thing with regard to trying to manage that process. And there are exercises you can do to try and control the static energy, but that's just one part of it. That's controlling it so it doesn't just freak you the fuck out and go everywhere. It's controlling the little ball in your head, putting it where it should be, and then to start focusing on other things. The problem is, if you don't control the static electricity in your brain, and I'm talking energy, right? The static energy, it's going to bite onto very random things. It's going to bite onto most likely negative things because, like we've spoken about it in the past, negativity is way louder than positivity, way louder. So if your brain hasn't got something to focus on, or it's not a little bit tired and kind of in almost survival mode from being tired, but it still has to work, it's going to latch onto the easiest latched onable thing, and that's normally negativity. So anyway, I've been posting some content over the last while, and this morning I wake up because of this fucking load shedding in South Africa. It's pathetic. 10 hours a day without power because they're cutting it because they can't generate enough. Different discussion. But so I wake up at about 4 because the power went on or off, and then things beep in the house and what have you. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. So I go and make coffee, and I quickly check through emails and messages, and then I open Instagram. And there's a couple of things, right? Now I know I do not post things that is aimed at offending anybody. If you're offended by some of the content that I post, I'm sorry, but that's a you problem. It's supposed to make you think. So when I read a message or a comment on a post, and it starts off with immediate unfollow, first of all, I'm like, okay, what? Am I supposed to go and cry with my mommy now because you're going to unfollow me? So the level of not giving a fuck is quite high. I don't care. If you don't want to follow me, you can go. You're more than welcome. But then I start thinking, you know what? How sad must your life be that you are so insecure that if I give you something to think about, I don't even read the message finished. I just delete and move on. So I delete the message. And then there was another one on the side. It's like, yeah, but you can't say this about me and stuff. No. You're saying about you. You're believing it about you. If you can't take an opinion from someone else, extract value from it, and then move on with your life without spending so much time to write a message, that's a you problem, That's a you problem. However, and this is my point, is early in the morning, my brain, and I'm still like, I'm a little bit, it's been a busy week, my brain's kind of busy, and I've got all the energy, and suddenly my brain bites onto that, and it's like, oh my God, they want to unfollow you, and what? But it didn't take me long to say, you know what, fuck that, couldn't be bothered, and I never have been. Whatever. It's just, how many people out there, and the static energy in their head is messing them up so much that all they bite onto is the negative, that you have to go online to find a fix to be able to give your brain, which is this thing that uses so much energy, give it something shitty like that to bite onto. I feel sorry for you. And more than likely you're not going to see this because you've unfollowed me. And if you did not unfollow me and you just did a little fucking rah, I'm going to unfollow you, then you're even more sad than just going to leave shitty comments. So my thing this morning was, I'm still getting my kind of waking up from coffee. I read this, I'm like, fuck. And my brain wanted to go to a place where it latches on, where all that static energy, that's that energy that you can use to learn, to teach, to inspire, to go training, to go walking, to speak to someone, to think about someone, wants to go there. And it's like, stop. And there's a lesson in there. So yeah, it's just delete and move on. The other thing as well, which was quite funny, was on a video like this, some random fucking comment like, and I don't even know which one it was or what it was about, but it was like, oh no, you should just go and, but like in a very derogatory, ugly tone, you should go get a haircut and get rid of the facial hair. So I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm really going to sit in the corner now and think about my life and how, block. Why? Because if someone like that in the real world had to say anything like that to me, I would not want to be around them. I don't want them close to me. So I just blocked them. Couldn't care. It's like, whatever. Literally, it's like, whatever. And again, I was thinking this morning, how fucking sad, how sad must your life be that you want to comment about my beard? I mean, thank you for paying attention, but bye-bye now. It's very, very bizarre. And it comes to me again. Now, I'm going to circle this back to the static energy thing for me. Because if you have something that you are focusing on, a project, something, a passion, a hobby, a partner, your work, your career, a fitness goal, a mental health goal, anything, you shouldn't have the time or the inclination or the fucking energy to go and bitch and moan about other people. And I don't understand, this is me, I don't understand people who all they look forward to is to go sit on the couch and stare at the TV. I don't get it. I've never have, and I never think I will, that just sit and do nothing. You're not reading a book, you're just sitting there and staring at an electronic box. I don't understand it. If it's your thing, that's cool. It really is cool. I don't get it. I get people who want to go and climb Everest and who do all these ridiculous things that challenges them mentally and physically, where most people will look at it and think, what the fuck is wrong with that one? I get that because it takes you out of the comfort zone. It makes your brain maybe a little bit scared that this almost seems impossible. And it makes it focus so heavily on that thing that everything, it dulls the static energy and suddenly you can focus on things differently. You can focus on things better. That I get. That's why training for me is such a great equalizer. Go really hard, whatever it is, because it makes you tired. And when you then sit down to do some work, or even better, when you sit down and look for something to do, you're not going to look for random bullshit like commenting on Jerry's fucking beard. You're going to do something constructive. You're going to do something productive and maybe for yourself in a good way. The idea for me of being mentally tired because I'm pushing it there and physically tired because I'm pushing it there, I think that makes me better for myself, for my family, for my colleagues, for my clients, everybody. Because I'm not worried about the frivolous crap. I think it's a big thing. If I don't have something to focus on, and that's where, and again, this is an ongoing thing for me, twofold. I'm still looking for something to compete in again. Like CrossFit, whatever, it's done. I've been there, done that. I'm thinking of like maybe Olympic lifting or something, but something to compete in. Because that idea of having to do something that has an end goal and I want to try and be better at that, it balances everything else. It's an holistic approach. If you think that your brain works in isolation now when you're at home, then when you're going to scroll on Instagram for 2.5 hours a day, and it all works together. It's a balanced thing. It really is. So it's kind of just pulling from what I said in the video about hiking, where I get it. And for me, so I'm turning 50 in 3 years. 2 days ago, I was 47. 3 years, I turned 50. And on the morning of my birthday, I went to my computer and I started Googling things. That sounds ominous today. I started Googling things. Looking at things that I can do, and it's not something you can buy out of a brochure, but putting together something that scares me now already. I want to climb this, do that, walk that, run this, cycle this, whatever. Do something so stupid and out there that even when I look at it, it's like, fuck, what are you doing? That's the kind of stuff I get. I get people who want to do that. I do not get people online who say, when you're adding value and you make people think, and they say immediate unfollow, ... and there's a paragraph this big. I don't know what you said because I deleted it immediately, because I don't care. I care about being able to add value, to be able to get the most out of life, and to look at these things that scare me a little bit in the future. The brain weighs 2% of your body weight, more or less. It uses 20% of the energy that you expend daily. Surely, you can find a better use for it than scrolling on Instagram and commenting on stuff and being negative. And trust me, the people that you are being negative to don't actually give a fuck. The only thing you're doing is you're keeping that negative shit in your own head. If you're on the receiving end of that kind of stuff, do not engage. Delete, block, and move on. The idea when I went off Instagram way back was to clarify mental health for me, to fix it, to build a little business on the side, and so on and so forth. And all of those things I've accomplished. And the theory of posting and ghosting, right? I'm not engaging on comments. I'm not, good or bad. I'm putting content and leaving. This is the most content that I'll engage. If someone sends me a message or a WhatsApp, we can talk. I'm happy. But I feel sorry for people who have gotten to the point where they don't want to share their life or their art or anything anymore because they're scared of what other people are going to think. Man, humans are an interesting thing, hey? Humans are an interesting thing. I saw a very random thing on Twitter where apparently it was something with Kardashian. I've no sweet nothing about Kardashians, but apparently her ex-boyfriend did something and she got very petty online. It's like it's like being at school all over again. It's very sad. It's very sad. Anyway, so the idea, the static energy in your head, you have it whether you want to or not, right? It's the focus, the attention, the passion, the ideas, this creative energy. It needs to go somewhere. Make sure you put it somewhere that gives something back to you. Instagram's not it. Instagram's not it. So, I saw it this morning when I woke up and my static energy was all over the place. I read a couple of things and I'm like, oh my God, should I? And it's like, no, stop, not worth it. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I'm gonna go work. I'll chat to you tomorrow. Bye.